Hi, and welcome to the next episode of Belly to Belly. And we're here today to talk about SelectUSA 2025 preparation. We're with great friend Claire Gordon from, I'm going to look at this just so I say it right, the California Governor's Office of Business and Economic Development. I know you as GO-BIZ, California GO-BIZ. So welcome, Claire.
Thanks so much, Bill. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's wonderful to have you. And as you know, we do these conversations to really help companies coming understand and pre-meet resources that will be available for them at SelectUSA, and really with the intent that to create as much pre-contact as possible so that when we're all meeting in 2 months, that the conversations are more second and third level and the companies get a lot more out of it. So I really appreciate you being here. Probably, most companies coming into the U.S. are very familiar with California, but probably don't know what services GO-BIZ does to help support companies coming into the fourth largest economy in the world. So do you want to kind of give a thumbnail of your services?
Yeah, absolutely. So at GO-BIZ, we have a pretty extensive suite of resources, which are all available to foreign-owned companies, all completely free. I always want to make sure to hammer that home as much as possible. We've actually compiled an international investor starter packet for, specifically targeted, of course, as it's in the name, international investors who are perhaps just getting started in California specifically or in the US more broadly. This covers pretty basic things like how to open a US bank account, how to get a federal employee ID number, how to register with the California Secretary of State. It's really kind of just meant to be a checklist, if you will, for everything that they need to get done to get things up and running here. It also provides an overview of the services that our office provides. So here at GO-BIZ, we have staff that provide direct services to businesses, and that essentially falls into 3 main buckets. The first is incentive navigation, so helping business owners figure out any tax credits or grant programs they may be eligible for and how and when to apply for those. The second is site selection. So businesses can come to us, really share any and all criteria that they have for a site they're looking for, whether that be anything ranging from an office space to a warehouse or manufacturing facility. And then we work with our colleagues at the local level to identify sites that meet those needs. And we typically go through about a 2-week confidential process to identify sites that meet the needs of the company that they've specified, and then help them to secure that site ultimately. The third bucket of services is permitting support. So this can vary pretty widely in terms of exactly what that looks like. Sometimes it's just a preliminary conversation with the business to help them understand precisely what permits they're going to need and what the timeline is for those. If they face any issues with permitting processes, whether that's, local level zoning or, state regulatory agencies, we kind of help mediate and streamline that to the best of our ability. So really, as much as possible, just kind of taking some of that burden, not just in terms of cost, but also in terms of ease of doing business, away from the business owner, and really making it as easy as possible for them. The last thing I would add is that we also make a lot of connections. We really like to see ourselves as kind of a coordinator of state agencies, of local economic development organizations. So that includes not just our local EDOs, which I'll use this as an opportunity to plug that we're going to have about 30 different local economic development organizations from across the state with us at the summit this year, but also our state agency partners. So people like CalRecycle, the California Energy Commission, the Air Resources Board. So if businesses are looking to take advantage of their incentive programs or understand their regulations, we can put them in touch with the people that are doing that work on the ground so that they can get it, from the horse's mouth and understand what they need to do. That also applies to some of our other units here within GO-BIZ. So we have a team covering zero emission vehicles, covering utilities and energy. We have some that implement certain tax credit programs. So again, the opportunity to really connect with the people that are directly involved in the implementation of these programs, and understand what they need to do to take advantage of them. And then last but not least, we have a lot of foreign government representatives or foreign private sector representatives as well. here in California that offer, really kind of unmatched expertise to businesses from their home countries who, want that culturally competent point of view, who want to speak to people who have worked with businesses from the same, or similar backgrounds, who have gone through the same process, who have successfully landed here, and kind of, know what's unique to their particular country and how those businesses can have the most success in the California market.
Wow, that is a comprehensive suite of services. It's funny, you got into the first three, and I go, and then you got to networking and all the connections you make, and it's always amazing to see how well, even for such a large state, how well all of the regions work together and all the agencies work together in California. So big hat tip in terms of coordinating all that. So thinking about the companies that are listening, some have decided to come to SelectUSA and they've already gone through the visa process and bought their tickets and all that. Some are still kind of last minute thinking about it. As you think about why SelectUSA is important for companies coming into the US, what are some of the things that you'd highlight for the reason to be there?
Sure. I mean, number one, there's so much support available for international businesses at the state and local level. In addition to, making sure they're, aware of the opportunities, also aware of the resources that help them access those opportunities. So, not just the state level kind of GO-BIZ, connections that I mentioned and the different direct services, but, also the opportunity to get that kind of concierge support, hand-holding, tailored resources.
Hop in. So it sounds like what you're saying is coming on site allows you to cut through a lot of that, because you can, in that room, you can connect to probably all the people you need to either begin the process, go to the next, whatever the next big milestone is, but they're all right there, and not just online, but face to face, and you can really roll up your sleeves and have an in-depth conversation.
Precisely, exactly. You can really ask the questions you need to ask, kind of get to the meat of it. And in addition to that, get a feel for what the communities are like. I really am a big believer that we have, we're all very proud of our communities. I'm really proud of the state of California and our local communities. Our local representatives are very proud of the cities and counties and regions that they represent. I think they're wonderful representatives of what kind of each individual area has to offer. And so really meeting someone face to face, asking the questions, getting to know them as a person, I think can be some perhaps unrecognized, but really invaluable opportunity to just get a sense of what a place is like.
I would suppose that, and also just things tend to move faster and there's a sort of more accountability and relationship and all that when we meet face to face. But no, that's really helpful. And so thinking of the companies coming, some have been to the US, probably some have operations already here, and they're going to the next step. Others, this is really the first trip to the US. Some won't have been to an event as large as SelectUSA. How do they take best advantage of it? It's obviously large. There's, most states and regions are exhibiting, and plus all sorts of other partners and service providers, lots of content. How do they navigate that successfully?
Yeah, I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head. SelectUSA is a big event. It's a lot. There's so much going on, and a lot of it is really valuable. And figuring out how to kind of maximize your time there can certainly be difficult, even for me, who's been to a handful of these now, and certainly for a business who might be their first time at this type of event. So that being said, we have a few different opportunities kind of specifically focused on connecting with the California delegation and learning about us, that for any businesses that are interested in us, no matter where they're at in that planning stage, would highly recommend using it as a chance to learn more about what's available in the state of California. So the first is our Meet California breakfast. We have hosted this a few years in a row now. It's a really, really great event. I'm biased, of course, but proud to say that we've had a lot of really big successes come from there. Actually, just yesterday, I was down in Riverside to witness the grand opening of Omio's new headquarters, manufacturing facility, and and R&D facility. It's their new global HQ. They are a New Zealand electric vehicle company. They manufacture autonomous electric shuttles that have actually already been contracted by, for a handful of them, by the city of Riverside to use in their public transportation system. So really exciting, innovative companies that help us meet our clean energy goals. And that's just one example, of course, but they actually initially met the city and county of Riverside at the Meet California breakfast back in, I think, May or June, whenever the summit was that year, 2023. So that's kind of our hope with that event, is that people really have the chance to mix and mingle and meet the region that's a right fit for them. So that's number one. We always try to do some programming to, really highlight the talent pool, the innovation ecosystem that we have here in California, while of course also budgeting a lot of time for networking with our team and with our local delegates as well. On the ground at the summit, of course, that's always a really valuable opportunity to connect with people in person. Another really good in-person opportunity for businesses that do have the time and the resources is to attend the state spinoffs. I know there are a growing list of these around the country every year. We have 2 in California this year. One is Power CA up in Humboldt County in the north part of the state, which is kind of one of the leaders on offshore wind on the coast of California. They are focused on offshore wind, of course, but also renewable energy more broadly, as well as marine tech, aquaculture. So that's going to be a really great event taking place prior to the summit in a really beautiful part of the state, I will say. And then our friends in LA are also doing the Select LA Investment Summit. This is the 10th anniversary of the Select LA Investment Summit. I think it's actually the longest running SelectUSA spinoff. And they're going to focus on, kind of all of LA's major industries, ranging from everything from life sciences to digital media and entertainment to logistics. So those are both really fantastic events, I think, not just to meet the right people, but also to see the place. It's not just businesses that are coming here, and obviously the business consideration is going to be top of mind, but people are bringing their families here. They want to be somewhere where they want to live, where they want to, have their lives for the foreseeable future. And so, we always want to emphasize that getting to actually go to the place, getting a feel for the culture and the lifestyle there is also, invaluable for those who are able to do that at some point in that decision-making process. Last but not least, definitely want to say that the networking app for SelectUSA is always really, really important for us, just because, again, there's so much going on at the summit. It's a limited amount of time. We really want to make sure that we're talking to as many people as possible, that everyone that wants to talk to us or to our locals has the opportunity to do so. And so we really rely on the networking app to, make as many meetings as possible ahead of time. So that we're really having the chance to meet face-to-face with everyone while we're all in the same place and take advantage of that time we have together at the summit.
My goodness, that is a wonderful list. So, yeah, so the breakfast, then the event itself, then the spin-off events, and then the app, which all are fantastic. I'm guessing there are going to be some people that would love to make appointments with the California delegation, maybe have some free conversations. Is it okay if I put your contact information in the description?
Yes, please do. We are always available to talk with international businesses. I love talking to businesses of all sizes, all regions of the world. Really always happy to have those one-on-one conversations and provide some tailored resources, depending on what their goals are and what they're trying to accomplish, even if they're in those very early decision-making stages. So yes, please, short answer is yes. Please feel free to share my information and have them come to me directly.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Claire. It was wonderful for you to take the time today, and I can't wait to see you in under 2 months.
I know, gosh, it's really coming up. All right, looking forward to it. Thanks, Bill.